Hi guys and girls, dudes and dudettes and whoever else is listening to this, it's Dominic here. It's that time again where everybody looks back on what games they've played throughout the year and picks out their favourites. You've probably all got a favourite. I mean, it's been a really good year for games. I mean, we've had next generation console launches, but that's been a bit flat at the moment, but I expect that to totally kick ass in 2014. But right now, 2013 was a really good year for the closure of this current gen, I guess. Last gen, current gen, whichever gen, I don't know. Anyway, PS3, Xbox 360 and all that. So it also means it's a new year, so I guess I should wish you all a happy new year, and I hope that you all have a fantastic start to 2014 and keep on gaming, because it's certainly not going to get any worse, I would hope anyway. Fuck microtransactions. Anyway, as you've probably seen, there's some footage playing right now that's showcasing like video games that basically I've like fully enjoyed, but I didn't quite feel they made it into my top 10. Not because they're bad or anything; they're all really good games. It's just there's been so many quality games this year that this top 10 was kind of hard to squeeze together. But after some time, I thought, yes, these are definitely my favourite top 10 games that I've played of 2013. So once this roll here is finished, showing off the games that I didn't make it, I'll start talking about my favourite games of 2013. So enjoy.
I'm not just bluffing, Your Honor. This is as real as it gets. I'm fine. Apollo Justice is ready to go. Yup, because my Chords of Steel exercises are nothing to laugh at.
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is a touching adventure of two brothers who go on a journey through a gorgeously crafted world to help find a cure for their ill father. It's a game that I only recently played a few days ago. Actually, I played it on Christmas Day, in fact. But what that title did, it managed to make it slip into my top 10 games of the year. It's an emotional tale. Even though everyone speaks absolute gibberish in the game's world, it somehow managed to have a big impact on me. I think it's down to the actions that make it work, having the two characters interact with the world, such as having the younger brother rock an old lady in a chair to make her laugh, or the older brother helping his sibling cross a stream because he can't swim. It's all there for a reason for the player to grow attached to, as the brothers do their utmost best to save their father. It made me really want to help them overcome their hard journey through various hazardous but goddamn visually stunning environments. And once it's over, you're left with a very memorable ending that really digs deep when you find out what it does with the controls. And I think it will touch home with anyone who has a sibling that they dearly love. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas remains my favourite Grand Theft Auto game. I loved the world's openness to do what the hell you wanted. The scope was insane at the time, having 3 cities joined by lots of countryside, water and mountains, simulating a state rather than a city. I was disappointed with Grand Theft Auto 4, since it went back to the smaller enclosed space of a city, removing a lot of what I loved about San Andreas. This is one of the main reasons why I enjoyed the hell out of Grand Theft Auto 5. It brought back the grand feel and scope of the open world that I love to explore, to see what is tucked away, especially in such a rich world such as the new Los Santos in Grand Theft Auto 5. The story is engaging, the world is full of wonder, and the 3 protagonists add diversity to storytelling and gameplay. Trevor's the real star of the game, he's the insane man of the group, the horrible guy, but that makes it a nice change, as it isn't often people are given the chance to play hideous guys, especially ones that should be detested by the player. Yet I couldn't help but be drawn in by Trevor's actions. I wish more gamers would be willing to put you in the role of a terrible person. Perfect is such a strong word to define something, and while no game is ever perfect, there is no denying that Rockstar aimed in the right direction to perfect the formula of the franchise for Grand Theft Auto 5. I have a soft spot for scrolling beat-em-ups. It's a genre that brings back great memories from my childhood. I remember my time playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time or Streets of Rage 2. So when Vanillaware, the studio that brought us the wonderful Odin Sphere and the beautiful Maramasa the Demon Blade, announced a scrolling beat-em-up that would retain the distinctive yet gorgeous art style, I was jumping for joy. It's great to know that my excitement wasn't wasted, as Dragon's Crown soon showed up to be one of my favourites in the genre. It's not easy to create a beat-em-up that is mechanically solid, plays well and has depth to keep you coming back, but there's so much done right in Dragon's Crown that pushes the beat-em-up genre forward for the modern age. There's depth in the combat, an experience system that unlocks new moves, plenty of loot, 6 unique characters, intelligently designed bosses that all need to be defeated in various ways, and a smoothly silky online experience and local cooperative play. All this makes for a fantastic time, on your own or with a friend, plus the recently released 255 level cap, harder difficulty in New Dungeon, makes it a game that I found myself going back to time and time again, even after finishing it on multiple occasions. What a wonderful game Tearaway is. It's a game crafted to bring tremendous joy to the player by the people that brought you a Little Big Planet. From the papercraft visuals to the genius implementation of all the Vita's features, Tearaway is an exceptional title for the Vita, which can now finally say with confidence that it has a game that will define the system. Creativity is once again a showpiece that Media Molecule has designed this game around, but this time it's more of a personal one, a story about your own creations and how they merge into the world around you and your little paper messenger. It's a wonderful feeling seeing your hat, which you shaped with your own fingers using the Vita's touchscreen, being worn by a squirrel, or your designed snowflakes falling down past the skyline in the mountainous region. There's just so much to like with Tearaway. Not only is the game intelligently designed around the Vita's hardware, but one aspect of Tearaway that stood out for me was how the game manages to fuse the player into the story in a believable and contextualised way. I don't think any other game has managed to involve the player so well in a game's world without breaking the experience or having some disconnect with the story. That's a massive achievement. It's truly a magical game that people should no doubt try without hesitation and whisk themselves away into a beautiful world that Media Molecule has created. Let's start this out with a strong statement. Rayman Legends is one of the best 2D platformers I have ever played for the last 15 plus years. Yep, it's that good. And there's a reason why it's that damn good. You see, apart from Rayman Legends having intuitive controls, the game's levels are the real star of the show. Each level seems to offer something different. When you think you've seen the use for one such application of a mechanic, it adds it again in a new way. Rayman Legends oozes joy from every angle, engulfing the player in a wonderful shower of love and affection that beats Nintendo's lackluster attempt at making astonishing 2D platformers. It just goes to show that even after all these years, you can still get excited by pressing buttons to jump into 2D space.
After the Patriots, I thought I could walk off the battlefield and into a normal life.
Cyborg ninjas and Platinum Games' skill in crafting fantastic character action games makes Metal Gear Rise and Revengeance the action game of the year. This game throws a twist on the typical offensive gameplay, instead building around the very distinctive mechanic that is based around Raiden's use of a katana. Fundamentally, the player is required to learn how to time precise parries with the Japanese sword to counterattack and switch the momentum against the enemy. Parrying in Revengeance is an intelligently designed mechanic that is assigned to the same button as attack, yet it works by having it intuitively activated by a direction and an attack button pressed at the same time to parry in that direction. Oh, and the boss fights. Oh boy, those are fantastic. With each one having a unique weakness that must be used to bring their downfall. Let's not forget the final boss of the game is ridiculous yet so entertaining speech that you won't forget anytime soon. Blend those features with adrenaline fueled action and the amazing and dynamic soundtrack. That changes as the player makes their way through a boss fight, and you have a game that, while short, is one heck of a stylish and exceptional executed title based around the principles of swordplay. I did say I had a cyborg ninja too, right? A cyborg freaking ninja. The Wii U might not be doing so good right now for Nintendo, but for me, there was no denying that it had the best entry of the Monster Hunter franchise to date. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate was, as the title says, the ultimate version of any Monster Hunter title, combining the content of Monster Hunter Tri with the new monsters and locations that originally were Japan only, thanks to their hold on the Monster Hunter 3rd portable for the PSP. Capcom pretty much achieved a perfect representation of what they're trying to accomplish with the franchise, creating a game that is the pinnacle of cooperative gameplay, combining 4 players to work together to hunt down powerful monsters. Players need to have a keen sense of old school gameplay to study a monster's attack patterns and then find their openings and go in to deal the damage. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is a unique title that fits into a select few video games that can spawn a story through the experiences the people acquire over the course of the game, alone or with friends online or locally, when participating in hunting down one of the game's memorable beasts. Through failure or success, this game will get people talking about their adventures in the vastlands of Monster Hunter, and it helps that the game is extraordinarily deep and plays so damn well. People love Mario, and Nintendo will give people Mario, but Mario has had some less than stellar outings over recent years, all thanks to the sterile new Super Mario Bros. Series. They're good games, but you want more than just good games from Nintendo. Thankfully, we got a fantastic taster in what the real Mario studio, Nintendo EAD Tokyo, can do with the release of Super Mario 3D Land in 2011. Roll on 2 years and the Mario Masters are back with Super Mario 3D World, a platformer that stands out in a year that has been full of excellent platforming games. We all know Mario can jump, shoot fireballs and all that malarkey, and with EAD Tokyo at the helm, the controls are the most responsive in the business. What really steals the spotlight in Super Mario 3D World is how the studio can still come up with inventive and creative level designs that keep on surprising. Mario has been bouncing around 3D worlds for 17 years, and yet I was still in awe at the genius this studio keeps crafting in the 3D Mario titles. Not to mention that it now includes multiplayer, which actually works really well in a 3D environment. We can't forget about the new power-ups, especially the cat suit. It adds more to the game than I thought it would have. The cat power builds on Mario's already well-developed moveset, giving the chubby plumber a chance to climb surfaces that allow for fresh level designs grounded on this new climbing mechanic. I can strongly say that this is 3D platforming at its finest in Super Mario Galaxy 2, and having the game in high definition running at a buttery smooth 60 FPS is icing on the cake that makes Super Mario 3D World one of 2013's most beautiful and imaginative games. The original Persona 4 on PlayStation 2 was one of my all-time favourite RPGs, so it makes sense that this Vita enhancement was going to score high in my Game of the Year list. Persona 4 Golden is the best version of the game. It's the same charming characters blended into a fantastic murder mystery story that revolves around a personal experience with the cast, rather than saving the world as a whole. To top it off, it has a brilliant battle system to boot. This is more than a simple port. There's plenty of additional content for this golden celebration of the title, with more voice acting, extra scenes, a new character and a whole new dungeon to explore, along with a new ending to see. Special mention has to go out for the soundtrack, created by Soji Meguro, who seems to be a genius who can craft catchy J-pop, jazz and pop rock with lyrics and not have them become tedious on the ears. At the end of it all, I simply cannot emphasize enough that Persona 4 Golden is simply a must-own game for any RPG fan or Vita owner. Before I name my number one, let's just have a rundown of what we've seen so far, and it means I can use some Phoenix Wright music at the same time. So, in 10th place we had Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. In 9th was Grand Theft Auto 5. 8th was Dragon's Crown. 7 was Tearaway. 6 was Rayman Legends. 5 was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. 4 was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. 3 was Super Mario 3D World. And 2 was Persona 4 Golden. So that just leaves one more entry. And what is that game? Well, here we go! You might have heard of a studio named Naughty Dog. They created the awesome Uncharted series. Normally, when a studio is done with their trilogy on a system, they would wait for next generation to start. But not this studio. Instead, they decided to release my personal game of the year, a new IP on a now 7-year-old system called The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a completely different beast compared to Uncharted. It's a much more serious game built around the dark setting where most people have turned into zombie-esque mushroom walkers. It's a take on a zombie story, which should be stale by now, yet Naughty Dog manages to keep it interesting by having these zombies look different and act in interesting ways to make the gameplay incredibly tense. This game is also Naughty Dog's best shooter. Some might argue that the studio doesn't quite have the mechanics down in the shooting area, but I felt The Last of Us captured the dark, torn-down world in its use of guns. The gunplay was heavy and brutal. No one was a bullet sponge. If you took a shot from a shotgun, Joel was sent on his ass, struggling to recuperate and get back up. Staying in cover was important, but staying hidden was even more so. The Last of Us did gunplay better than any survival horror has done in this now coming to an end generation. But let's not forget the true star of The Last of Us is its story. That beginning scene was a right smack in the face to wake up the player in what to expect from the game, and the two main characters, Joel and Ellie, who are perfectly represented thanks to the fine work from Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, are the best characters of the year. These two embark on a personal journey that grows both characters, turning into a father-daughter relationship that makes the player continue to dish out the punishment without questioning the morality behind the actions, just to keep Ellie alive for that little bit longer and reach the fantastic ending sequence that I completely didn't expect to happen, but also makes The Last of Us have a solid closure for the best game of 2013.